This is probably one of my most favorite PvE games to ever exist. I know a few of you guys already know what this game is, but I'm here to explain it to people who don't, on how the game works, what kind of enemies are in it, how the characters interact, and what makes the characters so memorable after playing the game. Please enjoy this video, and please leave a like if you guys enjoy it, and give me a comment on some stuff I may have missed. Anyways, this is Left 4 Dead 2 explained by an idiot. First off, let's think about the weapons. We have quite the selection for us at the beginning of the game. We start off with a pistol, the option of a melee weapon, sometimes even two, or getting yourself a second pistol and dual wield them. Along with that, you get yourself some medical kits, which we'll get into later. Let's start off with the basics. Pistols have infinite ammo, but they do not have infinite clips, so you have to reload them pretty often. Melee weapons have infinite ammo and an infinite clip, but they're very close ranged and not very helpful towards Special Infected. Speaking of Special Infected, we're going to talk about some basic ones, starting off with the Hunter. The Hunter is pretty much more of a stealthier version of the common infected. They usually like to lurk around behind corners or behind tents in specific maps with, tents. But the thing is, if you notice them, they'll run away by pouncing away from you. And if you do not think fast enough when they get too close, they'll pounce on you and scratch you to death until you're downed and your teammates have to save you, or they can actually scratch you to death and you die, and they have to get defibrillators. Before we get into some of the medical supplies like the defibrillators, let's get into the Boomer. The Boomer is pretty common. It's pretty much a fat zombie that blows up and has vomit go everywhere that attracts all the zombies towards you, and he can vomit on you. And it's more recommended for you to pretty much shoot it from a distance, because they do have quite the blast radius if you kill them. And you should probably stay away from them, not let them get the jump on you, or else they're gonna vomit on you, and then you're gonna get yourself swarmed by zombies. Now let's get into the Spitter. The Spitter has an area denial ability, allowing it to shoot acid towards your area. If you're standing in that area for too long, you will take an insane amount of damage very fast. If you kill the Spitter, it'll leave the same exact area surrounding it, making it also hard for you to get past it if it's standing in a very narrow hallway. Now we're done with basic Special Infected, we can start talking about medical supplies. This stuff will help you power through all the levels in the game. The most important one is the medical kit that I talked about beforehand. This takes a very long animation and a long time for you to use, but regenerates a huge majority of your health. You find this at the start of the game and also sprinkled around in the maps and also in safe areas. Second of all, the second healing tool is the pills. These pills will have a temporary health buff on you and brightens up your screen, making it kind of hard for you to see, and also can make it easier for you to see. The pills wear off pretty fast, and they do give you a pretty weak amount of health, but it does help you make sure you don't have 1% HP. Now we're done with medical supplies. We can talk about the safe rooms. These safe rooms are located at the beginning and end of each section of a campaign. They're labeled with a red door and have signs pointing towards it with a house with a cross in the middle of it. These rooms have a variation of guns and has 4 medical kits, one for each teammate, and can also have a ammo pile in there. And you can also find yourself some little messages that help you move along with the story of Left 4 Dead 2. Now that we're done with talking about basic stuff, now I'm going to tell you about basic mechanics. This game does not have aim down sights. The only weapon that has aim down sights is the sniper rifle, which you would really use aim down sights for, because it also has its own crosshair. Instead, for the button you usually press for aim down sights, you have a bash button. This helps you when you get swarmed by zombies. You can push them back with your gun. It makes it very easy for you to get past swarms and sometimes even push back some special infected to make it easier for you to kill them and not have them be that much of a difficulty for your progress in the game. Now that we're done with that, now we can start talking about our second dose of special infected. These special infected are the Smoker, Jockey, and Charger. All of them can get you into an animation lock and have you get down pretty fast so your teammates do not help you. To go in more depth for the Jockey rides on top of you while doing a small bit of damage every few seconds. He also leads you into dangerous situations like leading you into fire, pools of acid, and sometimes even off buildings. Now we're talking about the Smoker. The Smoker has this very long tongue that he can use to lasso you and pull you towards him. Sometimes he gets stuck on a wall and he gets swarmed by zombies, or he pulls you towards him and he gets you and he starts like hitting you and stuff and does major damage until your teammates either kill the Smoker or they hit you and get you off his tongue. The Smoker also, when you kill him, emits a massive like dome of smoke. When you walk into it, it makes it hard for you to see. Now we have the Charger. He's pretty much a second version of the tank, which we'll get into more about the tank later. He has an insane amount of health. He can dish out an insane amount of damage. And he has this ability called the Charge ability, hence the name Charger. And when he uses this ability, he pretty much charges toward you, obviously. And he either slams you to a wall, slams you onto the floor, or he launches you off the map, killing him and you instantly. And when he gets done charging towards you, if he's not dead or you're not dead yet, he will lock you into an animation where he slams you on the ground multiple times until he gets killed. Now we can talk about the main special infected, the tank and the witch. Both of these are very major characters with their own different kind of mechanics, so it's very important for you to learn this. Starting off with the most scariest bitch I've ever met in my life, the witch. The witch just walks around in a passive state crying. How does this become super dangerous? Well, let me explain. The witch, if you shine a flashlight at her or even look at her for too long, she will get enraged and chase you around. The scariest thing about her is that when she chases you around and she hits you, you get downed instantly and she'll keep on targeting you until your teammates kill the witch. So, pretty much, if your friend triggers the witch, you don't need to worry about the witch, he needs to worry about the witch. So, that's something you can do to troll someone. Just don't help them when they fuck with the witch. Now we're talking about the most iconic special infected in the entirety of Left 4 Dead. We are talking about the tank. The tank is as you would pretty much assume, a tank. He is buff as hell. He flings people around the map. Not just people, cars. Cars. And then, also, if you get too far, he'll rip a chunk of the fucking ground and throw it at you. When he hits you, you get stunned for a bit, and you get pretty much flung to the nearest wall. You may have already noticed that I'm using the same exact footage from the same exact campaign, the beginning level. But the thing is, all these campaigns have pretty much the same exact kind of play style. These have a bit more of a better aesthetic, and sometimes different kind of infected you can run into. I'm going to get into that later, some uncommon infected. So, first off, let me talk to you about how the game is going to play out. First off, you're going to spawn either being abandoned or in a crash site of the last campaign that this campaign is based off of. And pretty much, you have to kill your way through until you find another way out. And that other way out is the final boss of everything. It's pretty much the final stand. You run around, try to complete the objective, or just hold off until a helicopter arrives. And you just kill zombies and just kill multiple tanks, because tanks spawn in every once in a while. So now we're going to talk about some uncommon infected. I don't know all of them, and I do not want to search up the internet for some uncommon infected for you guys. So I'm just gonna give you guys some of my knowledge of them. First one is pretty much one of the most iconic ones, Jimmy Gibbs Jr. Jimmy Gibbs Jr. is a race car driver that has fire resistance, which I know of, and I'm pretty sure he has more health than the average uncommon infected. Now we're going to talk about the clown, which can be found in the Dark Carnival map, and yeah, he's just a fucking clown. Like, I'm not even joking, that he has no buffs besides the fact that he makes loud ass noises like a little bitch. So now we're going to talk about the Mudmen, who are in the Hard Rain like map. They pretty much just crawl around and shit and just make it hard for you to see them in the swamp, I guess. I don't think it's even the Hard Rain. I think it's actually Swamp Fever. God damn it. Anyways, I mixed that one up. I'm not even going to try to retake this one. So I think also like Sita hazmats, but I don't think they're really uncommon, but they have their own little unique twist. They're resistant towards fire. So that's something to look forward to. So now we're going to be talking about differences between Left 4 Dead 2 and Left 4 Dead 1. So first comparison I can easily tell between Left 4 Dead 2 and Left 4 Dead 1 is that, you know, full modding support. So if you're trying to get Left 4 Dead 1, just get Left 4 Dead 2, because Left 4 Dead 2 also has the Left 4 Dead 1 maps, so that's why people are calling Left 4 Dead 2 a Left 4 Dead 1 DLC. So get Left 4 Dead 2. It has modding support, and yeah, it doesn't have like the full look down body legs thing, which you can see a example of right now as I'm talking about it. But you can get a mod for it that allows you to see your legs. And honestly, it has better resolutions, because honestly, as you can also see in my example, god damn, does it have like such weird ass fucking resolutions, bro. I put it at maximum, by the way, so don't get mad at me about it. Now we're going to be talking about menus. Menus are the best first impression to any game. We all know that. So menus, first off, Left 4 Dead 2 has much more game modes than Left 4 Dead 1. They have versus, realism and stuff. They have mutations, which is pretty much how people put in their own little twist into the game. And then Valve already put in their own little twists. And also the people who actually made the game also put in their little twists, which is pretty fun, pretty interesting. Kind of enjoy that. It has also much more of a smoother, like, you know, like, it generally just looks better. Left 4 Dead 1 looks like your average, like, source game, like, background. It has, like, a picture of a map or, like, what you actually do in Left 4 Dead. Although, I kind of feel nostalgic looking at Left 4 Dead 1 because I used to play that. It's pretty good. I do highly recommend Left 4 Dead 2. It has all the stuff Left 4 Dead 1 has, and if it doesn't have that, most likely you can mod it into there. Yeah, nothing really that interesting about it. Left 4 Dead 1 is pretty alright. I just like Left 4 Dead 2 a bit more because the characters interact pretty much more funny. And like, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll kind of get into that a bit more in the next section. So now we're talking about Left 4 Dead 2 conversations. The way the survivors interact with each other is actually fucking hilarious. So they get into fights about stuff. They talk about stuff. They even reference the games Valve has also taken part in development of. And it's actually pretty fun. Like how, like, when you pull, like, you get like a shotgun or some shit, like Ellis would say, it's like Team Fortress 2 and shit, you know? Like, it's just that stuff. Left 4 Dead 1 also had that, but Left 4 Dead 2 just has more of a comical player, like more comical players. And also you can still play as Left 4 Dead 1 to cast if you still want that gritty thing, like grittiness, and has the funny factors actually be funny because the characters are seen as gritty, which I can see that also being pretty funny. They are still in the game, so don't be some sour pussies about it, bro. Like, it still exists. So now, this is I pretty much talked about everything that's in Left 4 Dead 2, and I also kind of talked about Left 4 Dead 1. I know I'm probably going to get some comment being like, gee willikers, you missed some stuff! You need to talk about it more! I'm not going to do a part 2, but I am willing to edit it a bit more and add in those sections, or at least put them in the description. I don't want someone saying, gee willikers, clearly Left 4 Dead 1 is better than Left 4 Dead 2. It's the classic! Trust me, bro, like, Left 4 Dead 2 has everything in Left 4 Dead 1, like even the campaigns. But like Left 4 Dead 1 is good. I'm not really like bashing on Left 4 Dead 1. I do very much like Left 4 Dead 1. But Left 4 Dead 2 has all the shit. I don't want people making the same mistake as I did, buying Left 4 Dead 1 before 2, because 2 is just 10 times better than 1. And you can already tell that like 2 looks better than 1 because the graphics, from my example, looked goofy. Like, it didn't look goofy, but it looked kind of cartoony compared to like realistic. Left 4 Dead 2 kind of had that cartoony, but honestly, it kind of felt like Half-Life kind of cartoony. So it was trying to be realistic, but just ended up looking cartoony as hell.